Malaga keep going, 5 times victorious, like Duran, Malaga are notorious. The points in the bag are looking kind of glorious. We're our latest climb to heaven, coming from a goal from Kevin. Down the wing he goes, the defenders ain't senior. He's starting to mop up like a cleaner. Team starting to worry when the team sheet says Medina. So before we head to Huelva, I hope Sergio don't shelve you. I'm talking of Recreativo. There's a lot of history to delve into. Spain's el primero, the numero uno. But we don't care about your history, Grandpa. We want to knock you out like Anthony Joshua. So will we get 6 or who are our Biznaga picks? Come get your Malaga fix and let's get the view of those Giri-cast pricks. Of course we're not pricks. I'm joking. Good day, everyone. I am Matt Harrison, and you are listening to the Giri Cast on Sport Direct Radio, the Malaga fan podcast for all the Giris out there. I will introduce first. Who shall I pick first? I'll go Alex Ashmore first. Hello, Alex Ashmore. How are you?
Hello. I'm good, thank you. I enjoyed that intro. Yeah, I think. Are you going to try and do one for every week?
That's well. We've gone this far now. It'd be a bit sort of. We'll see. Unless people want to vote with their listenership and go away and go, yes, the idiot at the start we don't like. So we'll see. Nick Bell, how are you?
Yeah, very well. Thank you very much, Matt. I very much enjoy the rap. And if people aren't enjoying the raps, then there's something really wrong with them.
Yes.
Especially when you call them pricks.
I called us pricks. I was saying, let's get the view of us. I know people might not like Anthony Joshua, and I've referenced him knocking someone out, and that's just rhyme for you. Sorry, if I couldn't think of another boxer that rhymed with Grandpa Anthony Joshua. Anyway, I'll come to you last, Chris, because I know you've just watched Champions League football and your other club, Feyenoord, losing to Atletico Madrid. But how are you otherwise?
I was having a perfect evening. I want to say something about that match. Feyenoord dominated Atletico Madrid in the second half, where Atletico Madrid ended up playing a 5-4-1 parking the bus.
Simeone ball.
Yes, but I'm doing fine. Had a lovely evening at the beach, because in Spain we still can go to the beach.
Yes.
So the people on the right side of your screen can go to the beach. The people on the left side of your screen are wearing jackets outside now.
No, not yet. Not yet. I mean, I can still go to the beach in Norfolk.
Yeah. I was going to say, I could go to the beach anytime I want. We're just more humble about our beach goings, Chris. That's what it is. Yeah. We're not smug face. That's what it is.
You go to our beaches and there's not a soul there, so it's nice and peaceful.
Yes.
Well, I went to the tavern last night to watch the Champions League football, and they had the Man United game on one screen, and seeing the rain there, and I was thinking it's gone 10 o'clock here, and I'm in shorts and t-shirts still. So I was like, yeah, that's not.
I have to say, Spanish people don't go to the beach anymore. Really, it's just a few left on the beach.
Yeah, that's quiet.
And I would be lying. Maybe it's a bit sunnier down in Norfolk where Alex is, but I have been full coat fleece. It's been pissing down with rain. So I was just lying, just not to give you the satisfaction.
Yes. Yes, and it's been a beautiful weekend too. Very hot. It was very hot at La Rosaleda, but I did go to watch Club Deportivo Monda on Saturday night in the middle of nowhere, and that was very, very hot indeed in some sort of tiny mountain village way above Marbella. As my Spanish teacher kept saying to me yesterday when I was telling her about it, she just kept going, muy original. And I was like, she thinks I'm a bit mad. But anyway, speaking of madness and the summer, let's start with the World Cup, and not the 2026 World Cup or the World Cup that's just gone. Let's talk about the 2030 World Cup, because I guess we can say, first of all, good news. It's coming to Spain, and we are, likely to come to Spain. I know there's still voting and other things to go through, but it looks like it's coming to Spain, which is good news. We are a Spanish football podcast, and we're going to share it with Portugal and Morocco, but also we're going to be sharing it with South America, with Uruguay, Argentina, and Paraguay. Chile too. I can't remember if Chile were in there.
No, it's just
those three, wasn't it? Yeah, I thought so. because obviously it is the centenary of the World Cup. So it was sort of hoped that by some in South America that Uruguay would get it, but it's coming here. And obviously that has some implications for Malaga because La Rosaleda could be used in that World Cup. So, Nick, I don't know where you want to start with this. Do you want to say, are you a fan of this format, or do you want to talk about La Rosaleda? I'll just let you go where you want with it.
Say nice things, Nick.
Okay,
Oh yeah, I'll say nice things. I think it's good that it's going to Spain, Morocco, and Portugal, and that seems like a logical move, especially considering that more and more we're seeing this format where it's played across multiple countries rather than just being in one. I do still quite like it, and obviously in 2028 it's looking like the Euros are going to come to Britain and Ireland again, going up to Scotland, Wales, England, and Ireland, and things like that. So it's not a bad thing. This centenary part, though, just seems a bit mad because, first of all, that's 6 teams that have now automatically qualified for the World Cup in 2030 that get to just forego any qualification or anything like that. And I think the one I'm most angry about is I get the centenary. Uruguay was hosted there. Argentina were in the final with them, and Uruguay beat them. Paraguay have got in purely because the Confederation was based in Paraguay.
Yeah,
they have nothing to do with the original World Cup, other than that's where the headquarters of the Confederation were, and they were the first football confederation in the world. So,
yeah. Just quickly,
mental.
I guess we're going to talk about the La Rosaleda side this in a second. But the thing I quite liked about it is I was quite, if they'd given it to Uruguay and Argentina, I would have gone, that's very romantic. That's fine with me. I think it's a more logistical idea here. But what was I going to say? The way FIFA have said, we wanted to honor these countries, so we've given them one game. It's like, well, that feels a bit of like, doesn't feel like much of an honor, does it?
No. What, like one game each, right? What one game each in their own countries as well, which A, feels a bit like an unfair advantage. B, if you're the team that's got to play them, and you've got to go there first and then back to Spain or Morocco or Portugal to then play your next games, it's just mental when you want to be in camp. And then, but also the fans that would want to go and watch those games as well. You know, people that follow those other sides. So there's no thought for the fans in that. So the integrity's gone from it. You're right, mate. It should have been. Tell you what, 100-year anniversary. If Uruguay, Argentina, and Paraguay have all applied for it, put it there. That sounds like a great World Cup. We've not had a World Cup in South America since Brazil in 2014. It's about time it went back round there.
Yeah. I'm just happy it's not going to North Korea or something.
Yeah,
it would be very FIFA to host it in North Korea.
I don't think you have to worry about that for a while yet, Chris.
I mean, after Russia, Qatar, North Korea seemed the logical next step.
True. Chris, then maybe you can talk a little bit about, you can add on to what Nick said if you wanted, but how do you feel about La Rosaleda potentially being a 2030 World Cup venue? Is that good for the club, the city, etc.?
Of course, it's good for the city. I mean, it's great for the city. Malaga, the club doesn't have any word in it because we don't own the stadium. The stadium is from the city. I think it's a very good thing for the city. Being in La Rosaleda, as it is now, it's beautiful, but a bigger stadium would be beautiful as well.
Yeah.
And I think some parts of the stadium can have an upgrade. The other day I didn't eat before the match. I went to the kiosk at the stadium. And what I've tasted there, I've never tasted in my life. It was the most horrible bocadillo you can ever find. It was horrible.
I've had a bocadillo from there before, and I agree. I think our pal Dione would not be a fan of the bocadillos in La Rosaleda.
I think that bocadillo was still from when we played Primera División. It's been lying there since. No, but those things need to improve. And I like the concrete outside. I like the inside. But those little things, I think if you see the selling points, there's always a queue at halftime. I think they can arrange that better and get more money out of it, make more money out of it.
How much did the bocadillo cost, Chris? Like €12?
No, it wasn't that expensive. To be honest.
Food there isn't actually. It's not like Britain where they really hike the price. I think they're about €2.50, €3, aren't they? Maybe so. Nothing wild.
I remember a time where you could order telepizza in the stadium. And for the people listening, correct me if I'm wrong, because I never ordered it, but you saw pizza delivery guys walking with pizzas or slices and walking around the stadium. And I think people ordered it from outside the stadium and they were let in, but I'm not sure. But I'm looking for confirmation on the story. So if you know this story, because if that's the way how it was, it's insane that people would order a pizza in the stadium and the delivery guy would bring them.
Yeah. Just quickly, they reckon, from what I've read today, and I don't think this is confirmed, as we said already, the World Cup isn't confirmed for Spain. They think Spain will get 10 stadiums, and the ones sort of mentioned so far are obviously the Bernabeu and the Metropolitano, Nou Camp and Espanyol Stadium, sorry, Valencia, Seville, as in La Catua, not Sevilla or Betis's ground, which I thought was a bit weird. Bilbao, San Sebastian, Zaragoza, Gijon, A Coruña, Vigo, Las Palmas, and Murcia. They're the ones that have been mentioned. Yeah,
maybe I can add in at the end of the podcast a picture of the design of the upgraded stadium. Because I've sent it to you, Nick. That's how La Rosaleda, if Malaga gets the World Cup, that's how the stadium would look like. Maybe we can add it in for you at the end of the pod.
That's probably the fantasy design, isn't it? Because there's that famous design of Marbella's new stadium, which if it was built, that would host the World Cup final, probably the hotel.
No, but this is the real thing, because Malaga really, if they host the World Cup, they cannot host it in La Rosaleda as it is now.
Yeah.
Just the last time they hosted a World Cup game, they had it upgraded, so it's just coming back round again. Though I would be scared of losing some of the more iconic features, like the uprights on the riverside and things like that. I think that looks nice, but it just looks like every other stadium development around the world at the minute.
So in about 10 years' time, when we're still doing the Geary cast, we're like, oh, do you remember the old stadium?
The thing I like about the stadiums which are crucial to me, are the pillars, The one,
that's what I was meaning. Those ones just
really,
like I say, iconic.
As I said in our first edition of Malaga Gaga, which is out there now, if you've not read it so far, I said on last week's episode, there's a newsletter. We've upgraded it to a digital fanzine. I love concrete, so I declared myself a concretophile, which I don't know if it's a word, but it is now. Alex, any quick thoughts on this before we move on, or anything you want to add?
No, I think obviously it'd be good for the city. I don't think, technically the club doesn't benefit in any way. So, I guess if they upgrade the stadium, that could be good, more fans. But yeah, I think
it's only the whole world looking to your stadium and to your city, which is, I don't know.
Imagine
anyone want that.
Imagine Vamos a la Rosaleda with me at Argentina versus, I don't know, Qatar.
But you'll be in Argentina for that one.
Yeah, true.
If we are doing it, if we get Malaga gets to be a hosting city for the FIFA World Cup, could we then please pay everybody who works at the stadium a normal salary and let them not die?
What do you mean, as in not get sacked and released? Yeah. Yeah. I need confirmation by that statement.
I actually think you
the FIFA have learned from Qatar and these things.
Sorry. I was
being forgotten already.
Okay, sorry. No, I was a bit slow with that. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah. What you said, Chris, I was a bit slow on the uptake. I thought you were talking about Malaga staff then, as in the ones let go. But I see what you mean. Yes. Moving on. Just a couple of other quick little things. Things in the press this week. Loren, our what is he? Sporting director? I always get him mixed up with Kike Perez. Which one's which? What's Loren's title?
Sporting director.
Sporting director. And Kike Perez.
For those who didn't know, our host has been away the whole summer. Walked about 1,500 kilometers. So we are sorry for him not knowing who is at the club at the moment. Because you would expect from content creators about Malaga that at least you know the key members of the club.
Yeah, but
you can understand that you don't know that Paco, for example, is the one who cleans, who is the major cleaner. That Miguel Zambrana is the kidsman.
Yeah.
That what's her name? Of the shop.
So you don't know.
Yeah.
Maria is the one.
I know what Loren.
Tuesdays.
You sort of, you're pushing me down here. I know what Loren's job is, but they all sound the same, don't they? Sporting director, director of football, club director. It's all. I know his job is more the football inside. I know that, but I was asking what his title was because it's the same back home where. I don't know his job. I just didn't know what you call it. Anyway, he did an interview with on the Cerro Malaga. He spoke a lot about. They asked him about is promotion the goal, and he said, "Well, maybe not. We don't have to go up this season, but I've signed a 2-year contract, and I hope it happens soon." So I think his message was he wants to do it in 2 years. But I don't know. He spoke about the academy and.
Whenever I hear him talk, and he always says strange things in interviews.
Okay. Yeah. Chris Marquez. People saying strange thing in interviews. Quote.
Yeah, stranger.
Stranger. Yeah. He talked about the like Sports City, which I noticed actually when I went past her on the bus this week. I don't know if I just maybe not been looking as much, but it did look like it'd gone up a little bit more in recent weeks, which is good to see. Talked about academy staff and how he wants some more in the academy, and he's spoken to the administrator about that. I don't know if you saw some of this stuff, Nick, and any general thoughts. It all sounded quite common sense to me, but
no, he's saying what he needs to say, doesn't he? He doesn't want to elevate expectation and overpromise and underdeliver by saying, "Oh yeah, we're definitely going for promotion this season." It's good to know that they're looking to hire some more academy staff, even though they've just got rid of a load of academy staff. That's maybe a bit weird, but yeah, all sounds positive. I think the less that a sporting director talks in public and just gets on with things, the better. And I think maybe towards the end of Manolo Gaspar, when he was kind of being like a bit more out loud, that's when he kind of lost the room a little bit.
That's really the one who said strange things.
yes.
Yeah, exactly.
He said like
Chris Marquez as well. Let's just say that too.
And I'm full of bullocks. The thing he said once is, I could sign any player and then go through Calle and people clapping for me. But I'm looking what's best for the club.
Yeah. I think that's just the demeanour of Loren, to be fair. I think he's just quite happy to get his head down, do his job. And like you say, he says, I've got a 2-year contract and you'll measure me on my results in 2 years. And if we're playing in the Segunda, then great. If we're promoted that season, great. And if we're not promoted at all, then I'll be gone. Do you know what I mean? He says it how he sees it.
I like the way he says that, but the thing I have is what he also said in the interview was that he was hoping for the winter transfer window to open soon to reinforce the first squad. And then I think you had the chance this summer to sign more players.
But I guess we've had a bit of a evaluation period now, haven't we? We know what this squad looks like and maybe what we need to get in. So maybe
and
that
what we need to get rid of.
Yeah, and that too. Just quickly then, just to blitz through this last bit. Maybe we'll talk about some of the other stuff later. Speaking of interviews, our old friend Ontiveros was on Relevo talking about he hopes Malaga fans can forgive him and sort of asking for forgiveness. And Malaga is always in his heart. And the implication was that he would like to come back one day. Alex Ashmore, do you forgive him?
Yeah, I'm not too fussed about it. He obviously made a move because he tries to improve his career. Can't blame him, really.
Which was sort of part of his argument, to be fair, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure there's been hundreds of players that have done that at Malaga and then come back and, maybe not hundreds, but there's, I'm sure there's been players, in and around the world that have done that and then come back, done worse and come back and been forgiven. So yeah, I'm not too bothered, to be honest. I don't really, I do get it, but I also don't really get the untoward hatred that he does receive. I think, he's only moved clubs.
And we should add as well, me and Alex were at Fuenlabrada when he did get absolutely hammered for, I can't remember the chant, but essentially the chant was Ontiveros, you're a rat, wasn't it? Basically for about an hour. It was much wittier than that, the chant. I can hear the tune in my head. I can't remember the words. Chris, any thoughts?
No.
Okay.
No.
Simple as that. I like that answer, Chris. Nick, anything to add there?
Yeah, he's a rat.
That's what I was looking for.
He's never welcome back. No, I think Alex has been practicing his journalistic lack of bias there. I think he did leave in semi-auspicious circumstances. Obviously, went for the better gig, went for the money maybe, but at the end of the day, will benefit from it. And if he comes back on a free, then he's 8 million euros worth of profit or something ridiculous like that. So why not? But I don't think he'll be welcomed back by large corners. I think
if he's coming back, I'm personally calling the Piper of Hamlin.
Yeah, just to be clear, I should have perhaps added and sort of caveated this with the idea that it's not it's not like he's available or he's trying to come back. It's
where is he playing now?
I don't know. I feel like hasn't he been on a team sheet against us recently?
He's been at Villarreal B, isn't he?
I think he's been called up to the first team as well. I thought I saw the other day that he's been called up by the new manager there as well.
I'm going to Google it very quickly before we move on because I thought he was in like a Primera RF team. I'm sure I saw him on like a squad list.
Currently on the books of the B team, and he's played 9 goals this season, scored 4 goals, 3 assists. So
but to be honest, I don't mind him to Villarreal. It's fine. But I also don't really want him back at Malaga.
Yeah, that's my
thing. Let's be honest, even though Malaga wanted him back, it's not going to work with the fans.
Yeah.
He will always be a red for the Malaga fans.
Yes. Just quickly then, just to wrap this bit up, I don't think there's much really to say about it, but we'll just say a big well done to Izan Merino and Cordero, isn't it? Antonio Cordero, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, God, see, I'm all over the shop tonight. Antonio Cordero, who have been called up to the Spain under-18 squad for this sort of mini international tournament in the Canary Islands. I think it's called like the 4 Nations tournament against Portugal, Turkey, and Romania. That sounds like fun. We wish them well. Cordero obviously scored that amazing free kick for Atletico Malagueño last weekend. And I know already that in the summer, you guys give a lot of love to Izan Merino. So we wish them well in those games. But let's go back to Malaga Club de Football and let's talk about another win. So indeed, it was a 5th win in a row. Malaga won, San Fernando 0. Like we have in recent weeks, I think it's a good place to start is with the fan base itself. This game went up a couple of thousand again. We've had, I think it was 18,000 for the first game, then 19,000 or roughly around there. This game, 21,000 Malaguistas. The season tickets sales have gone up this week. our attendance is going up, lads, because you think results are going well, people are fickle, or is it just sort of the summer's finished? What do we think? A bit of both.
People are obviously. Oh, Newcastle have just gone 1-0 up. Sorry. I think people are excited for what could happen this season. I think it's maybe the first season in a while where a top half finishes within our objective. I think 19,000 season ticket holders, and then about just over 2,000 tickets sold for Sunday's game, I think is very impressive. So I think I want them to keep coming.
I should say, by the way, it was 20,999 really, because Chris Marquez did not turn up to this game. He was. I don't know where you were actually, Chris. You seem to keep going up the coast. I think you were in Murcia, weren't you, or maybe Valencia region?
It was insane. We drove Saturday morning, and this is the fun thing. We were visiting my sister, who thought it was nice to come to Spain and visit me on the other fucking side of Spain. So we left the house at 7 o'clock in the morning. After an hour, I asked my wife, did you bring your laptop with you? Because she had to work on Monday. She needed her laptop. She said, fuck. So we drove an hour. We drove back home, get her laptop.
Oh, no.
Drove back. We passed Granada. We passed Almeria. We passed Elche. We have passed Murcia. We have passed Benidorm.
Valencia's next.
Alicante.
Yeah. Well, you've done it in that order, but
sorry?
You've done it backwards if you've gone Benidorm to Alicante, but
yeah. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Why did we stay there, Chris?
We ended up near Gavia, which is next to Calpe.
Okay.
Why was she staying up there?
Till Monday, then we drove back. We left at 3 and arrived at 11. So
I can answer your question, Alex, for Chris, I think, because people seem to think I've had genuinely people say, I'm coming to Spain in 3 weeks. Do you want to meet in Barcelona? And I'm like, what? And they say, well, it's only a few hours away, isn't it? I said, well, yeah, 12 or 14 driving. It's like people don't seem to realize how big Spain is. I've learned quite a lot, but
by the experience, we even got a ticket from a nice Guardia Civil man.
Oh, nice. Oh, well, sorry. I thought you were going to say a ticket or something.
The cool thing in Spain, if you pay within the first 20 days, you get a discount of 50%.
Yeah, we're not encouraging people to speed or break the law in any way. No. It's not a cool thing. Let's head back down the coast. Let me take us back down to
where you need to be if you speed. It saves time to speed.
Like I said, Chris, I'm trying to take us back down the Costa del Sol to this game where there's a lot of fans. A lovely rendition of Porque Te Quiero as well, which is always fun. But
I asked you to never saw it back. I've asked you in our group chat to film it, but we never saw it back. Yeah. So I've just stolen the club's one. It's fine.
Yeah, I probably would rather join in anyway. I could have done it both, I guess, but yes, that was fun. Anyway, football. Starting 11. I think we might have called some of these decisions last week. We talked about David Larrubia coming back in the team. He did. We sort of decided we couldn't decide whether it'd be Danny Lorenzo, maybe Sangali, but it was Danny Lorenzo who lost his place. And also Einar was back in for Juande. So, Nick, any thoughts on those changes before the game?
Yeah, both positive changes still in the same way. We said last week that after we looked a bit flat in midfield without David Larrubia, it was good to see him back in, and I think that was justified in the bridge he made between the midfield and the attackers. And Einar as well, who I think he's done an interview this week and said I'm happy to be part of the team, and I can't fault or moan or be upset if there's other players that are playing well ahead of me. But, again, he was given the challenge by Pellicer to come in and perform, and bloody hell, did he perform? Especially some of those interceptions and, prevented a lot of equalisers potentially. So, yeah, positives all around.
Yeah, I was even wondering, I saw that interview too, and I thought he came across really well in that interview. And I'm wondering even if Pellicer was almost rewarding him for his attitude in a way. And because, I think, in regards to performances, maybe a little harsh on Juande. I don't think he's done too much wrong. I think if you made me say you've got to pick two now, I probably would pick Einar and Monte, but Juande being dropped felt harsh. I don't know about you, Alex. Do you think any of these were harsh calls or all good?
No, I think, on a given day, our best 11 at the back, especially, I would pick Einar over Juande. Just given on what I've seen from both of them, I think there's no harm in rotating players, because obviously you don't want to play the same team every week and, they pick up a knock or an injury. And I think you've got to rotate the squad to keep everyone playing, because if you don't play some players, they might get upset, and that upsets the squad morale. So yeah, I think it's a sensible decision to rotate here and there.
The thing is with Juande as well is that he, we know the problems that he does have, and if you expose him too much to that, then he could end up again on the treatment table for a very long period of time. Yeah. So rotating him in and out is probably the best thing for Juande as well. And I think Luke alluded to it last week and said, when you've got, 7 quality midfielders that can play in 3 midfield spots, when you've got 4 centre-backs that can play in 2 centre-back positions, it's a nice problem to have. And I think Pellicer is kind of being a bit, we were talking comparisons really, like who he could be like, I think we settled on Mourinho for looks on the live stream, but I'm getting a bit of a Claudio Ranieri, Tinkerman vibe. Do you get me? Sort of like these little subtle changes.
Well, we can say he's the ultimate Tinkerman because, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't he the one that introduced the tinkering with our goalies when we kept swapping goalies? Like, I can't remember who it was, Danny Martin and Danny Barrio, and we do 2 in the 2 games.
Wasn't it Juan Soriano first?
I can't remember.
First it's Juan Soriano and Danny Barrio?
Yeah, I think so. That sounds right, actually. Yeah, but that was Pellicer, wasn't it? That's the ultimate tinkering, which now Mikel Arteta is sort of playing about with as well, isn't he? Chris, anything different on the starting 11? Bit harsh on Danny Lorenzo, or?
Yeah, but maybe giving him a bit off. I don't know. Yeah. Still a young player.
Yeah, I think
I think it's the same problem every week with Dione and Roberto, which I still don't really understand. But
okay, maybe we'll discuss that shortly then. So you, like I said, like you already said, Nick, you did the live stream. What was the general gist at the start of the game on the live stream? Were we happy with how we started?
Yeah, I thought we did quite well. It was controlled. It was measured. We were having chances, and I think once we got our foot on the ball and started to dominate, we really performed well. And we were rewarded with a goal not too far after. So it was positive, and I think it's probably the first time this season that I've seen kind of what I've been looking for with that level of control, but that level of excitement, and I think especially through Kevin, we got that in the first half. So it was a pleasant watch, and again, nice to see sort of that being done. I think, to be fair to San Fernando as well, they played well to begin with. They tried to hold the ball up and pass the ball around too, but I think once we got the measure of them, we found it quite easy.
Yeah, I think we've already touched upon it, that I think those are the exact words to describe this performance: controlled and measured. But I think part of that comes from those 2 centre backs, because I still think we haven't really talked about Nelson Monte enough. I think he's absolutely brilliant. I think he's really, really good. And I think those 2 centre backs, apart from one issue, I think towards the start of the second half where I thought it was Einar that messed up. Maybe I've gone the wrong way around, but I'm pretty sure it was Einar messed up where he sort of slipped or he got tackled and they broke through. But maybe we could talk about that later. Alex, much the same.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I do remember, I don't know whether it was more towards the second half, but we were commenting a lot on Dione, and his sauntering is probably the word I would use. And yeah, obviously he's gotten away with it in the last few games. He's managed to score a few, but I do feel like either he could be used better or he could be playing better, because there wasn't enough running around from him. I know maybe sticking in one position is the right thing for him to do, but he wasn't offering anything.
Okay, right. Alex has mentioned him. Chris has mentioned him. So you're obviously desperate to talk about him. So let's do the Dione bit now. Then I've not had him on my whole sort of discussion point. So the fact you've both brought him up, obviously he's worthy of discussion. So go on in, Chris. What was perhaps your issue with Dione? Alex has said the word sauntering. What did you make of him?
I think he's not a player who you play from the side. I think he's a striker. You should play as a center forward, because he doesn't have the pace or the energy, being a bit older than the rest, to keep up running up and down like the Venga boys. Hey, the Venga boys are back in town. Up and down and up and down. No?
Okay. Yeah, but interesting. I read an interview with him. Was it last week or this week where he was, I've not watched Dione before this season. I've seen his goal record, but he says that's how he's always played. He said he's never been a number 9. He's always been, I think he said, a 9.5 or a false 9, which I found interesting.
Fine, but don't play him from the side. Play him from the center.
Yeah.
And to be fair, that makes a lot of sense then, because what I saw from him is the amount of time, and we saw it against Linares as well, how he dropped so deep isn't helpful to us, though. That's the only problem, because obviously we're playing a high line, we're playing a high press. When he's dropping deep to pick up the ball, it just creates a big pocket of space where, to be fair, Joaquin could run into. But I think that's why we've seen so much of Kevin, because I think people are actually concerned about giving him the ball in those positions, or he's just not there to give the ball. Yeah. There's no outlet on that right-hand side at the minute, unfortunately. Whereas,
and he doesn't have the pace.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd agree. Maybe he lacks pace, but I think he's sort of getting up and down. Okay. I'll be honest with you. He just didn't really come on my radar on Sunday, which is probably not a good thing, really.
But he has scored 1 goal, right? So far,
2 goals.
I missed a penalty.
Yeah, well, everybody can miss a penalty. I mean,
yeah, he's got 2 goals. And to be fair, in that game against Atletico Baleares, when he scored, we were giving him quite a lot of stick in that game, and he scored and then got subbed off.
But I think that's what's hidden maybe a multitude of sins with Dione, is that because he can have a moment where he does come alive, and both his goals have been scored from inside the 18-yard box, so we can say that he's not a traditional number 9, or he's never been a traditional number 9, but I think playing centrally suits him better. But at this moment in time, would you play him in that position ahead of Roberto? No.
Definitely.
I think the person who is most affected by this, or should really feel sort of like unjust, is Jorge Hernandez, because, again, he's shown that he can be pretty decent. He's a natural winger who has shown that he can play that way, yet he's being put on the bench and limited to substitute appearances because we have to play Dione alongside or near Roberto. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
It's not the first time Roberto would play from the wing.
No.
Roberto, I'm sure Roberto could pull that off easily. He's actually a pretty good player from the wing.
I've got no doubt he is, but he's definitely bringing more to Malaga. And to be fair, he was quite. He had another sort of quiet game this week, but like Matt said last week, he does a lot of running around, and if you're running from the right wing, you're not going to have as much effect on that if you are playing centrally. So I see why Pellicer does it, but I think at some point you've got to look at it and say, do we have a bit of a passenger in this side, and could somebody, whether it's Hightam who's back in full training, or whether it's Hernandez or someone else that could come in and have more impact, really.
But let's be honest, Dione is signed as the star player for this season.
Oh, yeah, I'd agree with that. He's the one who's on a lot of shirts.
Yes. And I think if you have Dione on the side, which is on the wing, which isn't working, if you bring him to the center, maybe he will score you 15 goals. And maybe Roberto, I think he would do fine. He would also get his goals from the wing. Right. I think if you would swap them, you have two good players.
Yeah.
Now you have one good player and one less player.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if Sergio listens. Just quickly on Roberto, I thought he played okay in this game, but I will say that that chance he had in the first half where he had the ball on the edge of the box and probably could have taken a couple of touches on goal and he smashed it over the bar. That was, I don't know how I think I have seen a replay since actually, but in the stadium, it looked actually quite funny. It looked so bad because he did just sort of, I don't think he realized how good a chance he had, but I've bit my tongue long enough. We did score. And it was through, and I'll be honest with you, like you said about Kevin, I thought the first sort of 10 minutes or so, I thought we might have a Linares Kevin. There was sort of a little bit, I think he tried something, it didn't come off. I can't remember what it was. And then he did sort of go into that mode where he passes it back to Victor Garcia a lot and sort of shied away a bit. But he was in the box. He was like a number 9, actually. Victor Garcia cut inside with a lovely sort of dummy, sold the right back, shot at goal. And a bit like those goals we conceded against Castellón and Atleti B earlier in the season, the keeper parried it into the box and Kevin there with a big header for his first ever senior league goal. He has scored in Europe for Gil Vicente, but he has scored his first league goal after it cruelly taken away a couple of weeks ago. Alex, tell me about Kevin Medina in this game.
No, I think he had a very good game. And I do, you alluded to it earlier, the way I think it was the right back or the left back got sold on that dummy. And I think he was about 6 foot in the air on that jump when he tried to block the cross that was coming in. No, I think, brilliant positioning. I think that's something that I've seen improve over this last month or two. I think this time last year, that goal probably wouldn't have been scored. I think there would have been a clearance from a defender. I think our positioning, both defensively and attacking, offensively has been brilliant. I think getting in the right places, waiting for those second balls, and I think that was a good goal for. I think it was a reward for our hard work.
Yes. What would you say, Nick? Did you think it was another good Kevin performance? I would say it wasn't quite the heights of the Recreativo Granada game, but I think it was a more perhaps measured, mature performance.
I think I disagree with you, actually. I thought he played better in this game than he did against Recreativo Granada. I think what we've wanted from him for such a long time is to be a lot more direct and to run at people and play maybe not as a traditional winger hugging the touchline, but to cut inside and off a bit more. And I think he mirrored maybe similar to David Larrubia in this game, doing that, picking it up sort of on the edge of the 18-yard box and then either finding Victor Garcia or turning it back inside to Sangali. I think it was a much more mature performance from him, and he took his goal brilliantly as well. And then let's not forget, only 4-5 minutes after that, he then rattled one against the stanchion as we went for on there. So he's clearly playing with confidence in this game, and I think if he can do that week in, week out, then he will definitely score more goals and he will become a really vital member of this team.
Yeah, I think it might have even been a shorter time after that, because I think we were all still celebrating the goal and we had a free kick and I texted you guys, did Kevin just hit that? And I was like, yeah, it was and
then it's the fact he went for it shows that how he was vibing in this game, and we said a couple times before, he's very much a vibe player.
He is a good vibes or no vibes, really, isn't he? But yes, and also a good, he's good at celebrating for the cameras, and he did a lovely sort of I don't know what you call it, the sort of picture frame thing which is fun. Chris, do you want to say nice things about Kevin and make me smile?
Amazing goal. Wonderful. Wow. What beautiful. Insane. I've never seen such a beautiful goal in my entire life. It was wow. Wow. I don't know what to say about the goal. It was insane. He blocked there, and then the ball came, and he hit it with his head. With his head. He hit it. And then
keep talking because I'm just double
the goal
checking.
The goal was empty. There was no one there. And the ball just went in. And everybody was, wow, what happened? Wow, insane. What a beautiful goal.
Okay.
Everybody was cheering up the stairs. Kevin. Yes,
I don't know if you're taking the piss out of him now or not. I'm confused. I'm just checking quickly because I made a note of this, but I haven't properly clarified this. But it does link to our first goal. I don't know if you saw David Picon's fact about when we score first. I don't know if anyone saw this.
Yeah.
Last time. Oh no, sorry, I'm thinking of a different one. The last time we won 5 games in a row, we got the last team to be at this point.
Pellicer has not lost a game in, I think, is it 32 matches when Malaga have scored first? I think that's what it was.
Yeah. It's something
crazy, like 20 odd of them or something like that.
Yeah, there's basically 32 wins, 10 draws, and we've only lost once when we have scored.
Or was it just one?
Yes. And also the other fact, I think it might have been Mr. Picon as well, Senior Picon, was the he's won 7 games out of 12 at La Rosaleda in his sort of second spell. So that's all good. Just quickly, I think we sort of touched upon it already. Victor Garcia has been excellent. He did brilliant to set this goal up. Really worrying signs when he was substituted. He did not look great. It sounds like he's out for a couple of weeks, I think, Chris.
Yes, he has a tear in his left leg somewhere. I don't know. I get lost in the translations from the club.
Yeah.
I love the translation.
I read the group WhatsApp of the press, and then I think, what the hell? Where is that?
The English translation was like abductor longus or something like that.
Every time I'm asking myself, do I have those things in my body?
For those unaware and maybe don't see the Spanish media or read Spanish press, they do love it telling you the exact muscle that's been pulled, and it's very sports sciencey, the language, so it's very difficult to work out what's injured. Whereas in the UK, we just say
somewhere in his left leg.
Yeah. Just quickly though, Danny Sanchez came on for him. First time we had a proper good look at him. I thought he was very good. And he could have even scored a couple. I think he had the shot that was saved, and there was one where the ball bounced around the box and he hit him and a defender blocked him. I don't know. Did he look good on the live stream, Nick? 'Cause I thought he was great.
Yeah, he looked brilliant. He looked very enthusiastic, and I think it's what he's been waiting for, because obviously he is Malaguista as well. But I think I was a bit concerned when Victor Garcia went off, and I was thinking, can this lad do it? But he was very capable, and he looked like he had a good time, especially connecting with Kevin. So it was pure vibes on the left hand side for that game, and like you say, I think he did very, very well.
Yeah, and I'm assuming he's going to be in the starting 11 for the next game. So it's a shame he didn't get a goal to just have that bit more of a boost. But the fact he had those chances was good testament to him. Again, another guy I wanted to mention. I thought Herrero looked strong again. Just no real mistakes. Made a couple of good saves. 3 clean sheets out of 6. Alex, are you enjoying Herrero?
Yeah, and I think he's managed to reduce on the errors that he was making towards the beginning of the season.
Again, errors. I know they were both goals, but I'd say they're the only 2 errors, really.
Yeah.
Errors are errors.
I think other than the errors, I couldn't really follow his performances. I think, maybe he was just, he's feeling sympathetic to the other team and wanted to make it competitive. But no, I think he's been fantastic. And I think, The only slight thing that maybe worries me is if I know it's unlikely that a goalkeeper gets injured. That if he gets injured and the young lad who is the sub, can he replace him? I know he's very good,
Definitely.
Chris has said, but
100%.
very young and inexperienced, which for a keeper sometimes
Alex,
means.
let me tell you, you can sleep easy at night. The second man behind the Herrero is ready and waiting.
Okay, I trust you.
I trust. That was very earnest. I trust you. Anyway, yeah, but I'm glad to hear that as well, Chris, because I don't know much about a second goalie, so I'm happy to hear he is good. A couple of other things I just made a note of. I think Nick's already answered it already. San Fernando's performance, just a bit quite good at the start. I don't know about you, Chris. I never really felt troubled towards the end. I felt quite safe.
I think our performance was horrible, to be honest. And if you ask me, it was the same as the week before. Well, not horrible, but we weren't good either.
Okay. I feel like we definitely could have put them away, like 2 or 3. I think I remember on the live stream, I was slightly more calm, but Nick and Luke were getting quite nervous towards the end.
I was pretty nervous.
And
to be honest,
we allowed them too much.
I think we are a mediocre team. If I look at the matches, I don't think we are that good, to be honest.
They're a very fit team, though. They seem to go until the very end. We
are very flat. That's what it is, flat. So I almost gave everybody a 6 because we've won. But if you ask me, I would have given everybody a 5.
I think a bit of poor finishing from Roberto this time and their goalie making a couple of saves. This could have been another 3-0, I think. I thought we were...
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I'm right with that, Alex, saying towards the end it was getting a little bit nervy with the kind of like them chucking everything at it to get an equaliser, really. And the substitutions made as well. They had some very rapid players come on. I think maybe because they brought on younger men than they had actually on the pitch. You know, they took off their 2 34, 35-year-old strikers, and then suddenly they came alive in the last 10 minutes. But
we were playing against the number 17 of the league, and I know it doesn't say much, but San Fernando is not one of the better clubs in this league and are the lower.
No, but you can see that they had somewhat about them. You know, at the end of the day, they might be where they are in the league, but only because other teams had played on Saturday. I think they started the weekend further up the league in like 7th or 8th. So
they started off the league at 17th position.
Yeah, but it's like
they started this weekend at 17th position with only 1 win.
But it's like. But you could see, you know, at the end of the day, they got one of the top goal scorers in the league. They've got a striker who scored just as many as Roberto has, and we kept him out. I thought some of our play was quite exciting at times. Like I said before, the passage of play that we had in some occasions was a lot more exciting than we've done a lot of all the season. And apart from the last bit where it got a little bit nervy towards the end, when we'd taken off a lot of our attacking talent, that's the only reason why they came onto us. But I wouldn't say that this was a poor performance. If anything, I'd say
I'm not saying it's poor. I'm saying it's flat.
You say it's one of our worst performances.
Yeah, I think this wasn't as the week before. It wasn't good. Pellicer also thought it wasn't good.
No, I think Pellicer's thing was that we have a few more gears in it, and I'd agree with that. That was my understanding, anyway. But like I said, I thought it was fine. It wasn't like I was like dazzled, but it did a job. I think we defended well. I think our 2 centre backs did their job. We got a goal. Like I said, Roberto.
Gennaro made a horrible mistake.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Gennaro made a horrible mistake, but then Einar probably made one of the tackles of the season after that.
Yeah, probably.
So we can't say that's crap football. You know, I'm all for calling it out when I see it, but when you do play well, and granted we've only won 1-0, but we could have won 4-0, and we've. I
didn't like it a lot.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. You can disagree. We've had our different sides there. Yeah, just quickly, I don't know if it came across on TV, but La Rosaleda was getting very angry at the ref in the last 5 minutes, particularly when the one time when the defender just bounced Kevin out the way and didn't get anything. And then when we had him in the corner flag at the end, and they booted our player, it might have even been Kevin again, I can't remember, and he gave a free kick to them. Everyone was getting very angry at the end.
Well, that was the one thing we'd say about San Fernando in this game. They turned up to rough us up. You know, they had 4 yellow cards before half time. We had a sweep on for the second half when they were going to get the first red card. We were that confident it was supposed to happen. And that's the only thing you can say about San Fernando in a negative way. Like I say, they weren't great, but they came here to kick us off the park, which is indicative of probably half the teams in this league. Everyone's going to do that to us at La Rosaleda.
Yeah. And also, I'd like to see the stats on this. I did think about this towards the end. I would be surprised, like, is that the first time Kevin's played 90 minutes for us? I usually get subbed. I don't think there's been many full games for him. So well done, Kevin, for making it to the end for a change. I think we've talked enough about the team performance. So let's go straight into Chumbo and Biznaga. So I'll start with you, Alex. Who is your Chumbo?
I think I'm going to go with Dione on this one. I feel like, disappointing performance, didn't offer anything. As much as I can understand a bad performance, I at least want to see some effort, and I didn't really see much for him. Similar to Loren, really. Loren coming on, I expected to see him sprinting around like the San Fernando strikers were doing, but he was sauntering around as well.
That was horrible to watch, Alex, wasn't it? I think we said on the live stream, you wanted he's 20 years old, you want to see him doing the same kind of levels of pressing that Roberto did. He was just jogging around.
Yeah.
Why do we keep bringing him? For what?
Yeah.
Because we've got nobody else, I don't think. But
yeah, basically.
But
it doesn't make sense. Then just put, I don't know.
Surely there's a young lad in the academy that would love a go. He would
bring Danny Lorenzo in, or
I was annoyed because I kind of maybe put my colour to the mast a bit and said, you know what, there's got to be a player in there the week before. He might do something. And then he came on and did that. I was watching the live stream with my head in my hands, going, "Why is he just walking around? We want to kill this off."
Or bring in no one just to show him what he is. Just take off a player and don't bring bring anyone.
Ruben Castro is still available on a free, isn't he? Let's get on the phone. No, let's not wait till January. Let's see what he's up to.
Maybe our praise of him controlling that ball from the sky. Maybe he listened to that and thought that's all he needs to do. I'll just get him out the way. I was going to pick Dione as well. I thought he went missing. I don't think he was just awful. I guess he just wasn't in it. I had him and Gennaro written down. I was going to pick Gennaro, but I think you guys might have convinced me more on Dione earlier. So I'll go Dione. Nick, anyone different?
I was the same as you, Matt. I had Gennaro and Dione written down. I've got some worries with Gennaro that he's maybe fallen into some habits that he had last year. And that was almost epitomised by the mistake Chris spoke about before, where, Einar really had to dig him out of the hole. But I think just the anonymity of Dione in this game, and I think how anti-Pellicer football he looked by dropping so deep into midfield, and basically Larrubia had to pick up the slack and play in 2 positions this game. So I think maybe in this, Dione edges it.
Yeah. Chris, anyone different?
Funny that you're saying that, because if Pellicer was one thing in the past, it was always defensive football in its extreme ways. He's not doing that this season. I'm going with Dione as well, but Gennaro is on my warning list.
Okay.
I think Roberto could have done better as well. I feel like, he put himself about and put in effort, but there are definitely a few chances that, his performances of late in the last few games, he would have scored, I think, a few of those.
Yeah, but he at least creates chances for himself.
Yeah. He was subpar from what he's been, but I don't think he was
he put in the effort.
Off the pace.
Yeah. He was there to have a shot at, wasn't he? And I hope that doesn't shake his confidence that, some of those chances he would have buried. One of them was quite wide, to be fair. And the goalie made a couple of good saves, to be fair. So hopefully that doesn't deter him too much. Biznaga then, Alex. I've got quite a few names written down here, actually. I've just realized.
You're going to like my pick. I'm going to go with Kevin for mine. I think, he put himself about, the effort. I think the goal was the cherry on top, really. I think he was, I think he had a really good game.
Okay. I'll go with mine then, since I went second earlier. We've not really mentioned Sangali much, but I thought he was excellent. I thought David Larubia was good again. The centre backs I thought were great.
I'll just say it, man.
Well, I know it's coming, so just let me build up to it. But I just, again, Einar made that tackle, but I do think Nelson Monte is in the conversation for our best player this season. I think he's brilliant. I think he is really brilliant. I love him already, and I'm going to pick Kevin. He was really good again. Nothing else to say. Nick.
I think there could be so many people that could have had this. Honourable mentions for Sangali, for Nelson Monte, for David Larubia, all played excellently. Even Danny Sanchez as well could be in the conversation for this.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually.
I've already given Kevin a lot of praise in this, and obviously he scored the goal that got us 3 points, but sometimes more vitally, denying a clear goal-scoring opportunity with one of the best intercepting lunges you'll see in the league this year is worth more than a goal sometimes. So I'm going to maybe go against the grain this week and say that Einar Galilea is my Biznaga.
Yeah, pathetic, but never mind. Not joking.
What do you guys think of Joaquin Gabilondo?
Yeah, sorry, I've got his name written down. I was just about to throw it in there because he played that amazing pass to set up Victor Garcia to set up Kevin. He was good, especially first half. I thought he was really good, actually. He sort of goes under the radar a bit because I think he's just getting on with it and playing well. So
he's hot and cold as well, though, isn't he? That's his thing. I think one week he plays excellently, and next week he goes a bit missing, but still a young lad at the end of the day.
Yes, and a bit Katy Perry. Anyway, Chris.
I have a few honorable mentions for my cats because of leaving the house as it was. Honorable mention to my sister, who had the idea to travel to the other part of Spain. Honorable mention for Herrero, who had a decent match. Another honorable mention for Roberto, who always gives it all. Honorable mention for Einar, because he was good tackle of the season maybe. Another honorable mention for Gabilondo, because he was also pretty good. Pellicer, I think he also had put in a good starting 11.
Mm-hmm.
So he was also pretty well. Other honorable mention to my wife for not complaining the whole weekend.
Just quick, Chris, do you remember that message Alex put in the WhatsApp group earlier and he said you can just direct Chris Marquez next time? I think this is the thing he might have been referring to.
But I'm giving my Biznaga to Kevin.
Hey, dog. That's, can I just say, in home? Oh no, sorry, I forgot. Alex went against the grain last time. That's 6 Biznagas out of 8. Oh no, 7. No, I'm keeping, so 5 out of 7 in the last 2 home games. So he's very much a home boy.
It's I have to say, I wasn't expecting this to happen this season. So it's hurting as well to do it. That's why it took a while.
I saw this coming years ago.
13 reasons why.
Okay.
Do not name Kevin.
Okay.
But I had to do it at the end.
Okay. Well, thank you for naming him and lots of other random people. Right, that is that game done. That was San Fernando. We stick in Andalusia this month and we head west. So let's go west to Huelva. So yeah, this coming Sunday evening, we play Recreativo Huelva in Huelva. We've prepared for this game. This is Matt's fun time, silly question time. We prepared for this game with the team on a little excursion to Caminito del Rey, which for those that don't know is like a sort of walking route up in the, I don't know what you call them, the cliffs, the mountains, sort of north of Malaga. It looks very beautiful. I am very scared of heights. I don't think I could do it, but I'd like to. It looks pretty. It looked like the players had a nice time. They all had their little hard hats on and all having little cute photos together. Like a nice day out. Then they had the team photo. So my question to you guys was, if you could go on an excursion with the Malaga players, where would you want to go? Nick?
It was a tough question when you proposed it to me. And someone who's reaching my age now is also starting to get a little bit scared of the younger ones. So that rules out half of this team because they're all Alex Ashmore's age and they're all youths and they're probably into things I'm not into anymore. So I was looking at some of the older heads.
Alex Ashmore. I did enjoy Alex Ashmore's calling the goalie earlier, the young lad.
I mean, he's probably about, 5 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Right, sorry, Nick, carry on.
So I was looking more towards the senior heads in this squad. So I was thinking maybe I think Einar would be quite good to hang out with. Maybe Dione, we could go and have a bocadillo together, a bit of lunch. On this walk that they've done, I want to praise the kit man because he had to carry all those bags on that harness route and then get the team picture and then carry them back. Didn't see anything with their own suitcases or anything like that.
Nick is so sophisticated. Have lunch with Dione. Drink wine with Pellicer.
I think Nick sort of twisted my question a bit because my sort of question, I didn't maybe specify. I put the Malaga players. I should have said the whole squad. Maybe you're picking and choosing. Poor Kevin's like, why can't I go with Nick?
See, but that's right. The thing is, I would be intimidated by Kevin because he probably wears baggy clothes and has maybe like a North Face jacket. He has
great.
I don't know. I'm just not. I'm starting to realize my own mortality nowadays. In this age, and when you see kids that are playing professional football matches that were born in the 2000s, it makes me feel a little bit horrible. So I actively would probably avoid going out with those kind of players, even though I'm sure they're lovely people. And I'm sure they've got their own hobbies. But I think, like I say, Dione's already suggested that he likes to eat. I think maybe the one outside of that mold I would go with is Juande. I think Juande would be quite good to go to like a music venue with. He seems quite cultured in his even in his younger age. A bit reminiscent of a young Nick Bell.
All right, okay. So I've sort of got an answer there, I think. I was going to say Chris, but I'm going to save Chris because it'll be something mad. So I'll go to you next, Alex.
I don't know.
Where there's spoons.
To be honest, it would be quite fun just to see how they, react to it all.
It's not a bad show, actually.
I mean, it was quite interesting and fun to see how Chris was reacting to Wetherspoons on his first trip in Manchester.
If you're drinking the night before and you're having breakfast the day after at the same place, I'm kind of worried.
I mean, yeah, I think you've given me a good idea there, Chris. I think I'd go to Wetherspoons with the whole Malaga squad.
I think I struggled similar to Nick. So I just decided we're all going on a city break so everyone can do what they want. And I thought, where's my favorite city break? And I thought, we'll just go to Budapest because it's quite young and cool. It's got really cool sort of underground bars, which the young uns can enjoy. It's good food there, so the older ones can have goulash. And then to recover the next day, we can all go to the amazing spa place, which I forgot the name of, with all the pools. And the young ones can go on the slides and do that. And the old ones can just chill by the pool. And there's beers there. And I just thought we'd have a lovely time.
Oh, I definitely misinterpreted the question.
Yeah, okay. No, I put your own spin on it. Chris Marquez.
It's easy.
Okay.
Coffee shop.
Okay.
That coffee shop, nice bars and hookers.
Oh, right. Okay.
Which Dutch guy didn't grow up with that?
Yeah. Okay. I guess that counts.
Kebab afterwards.
Yeah. By the way, I did have a really nice kebab on my way home Sunday night, Monday morning, which did feature on Vamos a la Rosaleda. For those that haven't listened yet, I talked about a kebab for a bit. It was falafel kebab. Don't eat. Anyway, the lads are going on an excursion this week. They're going to Huelva, which is an interesting place to go to. I think I mentioned in my rap at the start, they are the oldest football club in Spain. They were the founders of football here, but I thought I'd mention the place first before we perhaps talk about, because I did read last week. For those that like football literature and Spanish football, Morbo is just an absolute you have to read. It's a brilliant book on Spanish football by Phil Ball, who's a Real Sociedad fan. I think he updated the book after the 2010 World Cup. But the first chapter is all about Huelva and the football team. But he does talk about the town, and I've been through the town. It is not a nice place. But I literally copied his intro to Huelva from the book. So it says, modern day Huelva is not the kind of place you would choose for your honeymoon. It is tucked away in the southwest of the country, as if it neither welcomes nor expects visitors. The countryside around is harsh and arid, waving you along to the damper delights of the Portuguese coast to the west. The industrial estates on the outskirts seem far removed from the fabled romance of Andalusia, flamenco, Lorca, bullfights, and dark-haired beauties behind wafting fans, I can say that. And as you drive around the back of the city on the ring road, the buildings stop suddenly on the raggedy fields that straggle out towards the flat horizon, punctuated only by the occasional factory chimney. The flats on the outer edge of the city look neglected and crumbly, with washing hanging sadly from every window. If Huelva was once prosperous on the back of mining, time seems to have readjusted its accounts. A lovely little description of where Malaga go this week, and lots of fans, actually. But it is the oldest football club in Spain, so it's cool that they're in our league. I don't think we need to talk on the full history. Although Nick, it was founded by Scottish folk that were down the mines. We know you like the Scottish folk.
I do like Scottish folk. Yeah, I think just looking at Luke's notes here, bless him, because one thing he is committed to making these notes. Alexander Mackay and Robert Russell Ross.
And actually, I read somewhere a few weeks ago that apparently, I think there is an English barrio. I think that's literally what's called, Barrio de Ingles, that you will find Spanish names like Angel Luis Smith. Apparently, there's still quite a lot of English names from the big Rio Tinto mine that was there, which it's a bit of a Geary fact there for you.
How horrible do you have to be in football if you have the oldest football club and always sucked in playing football?
Yeah, they seem, from what I've read, and I don't want to speak for Recreativo fans, but they seem sort of quite proud of both things. We're rubbish, but it doesn't matter because we're the first. I'm not sure if that's a great concept.
So they're shit but local.
We're shit but local.
Yeah. So, some might say that. Yeah. I don't know who would say that. I wouldn't put on a flag. But, they did have their moment, didn't they, where they got to La Liga at the start of 21st century. They played in the Copa del Rey final. A nice link here, because I think I've met Sheffield Wednesday fans at La Rosaleda that playing in the Copa del Rey final for Recreativo in 2000 or 2001, I think. I might be wrong. It's near there. Was Gisco Muñoz, who's now their manager. Well, for now, he's their manager.
Not anymore. Just been sacked.
Breaking news. Sheffield Wednesday fans, you won't care about this fact. But yeah. They just, I think we've talked about, and I think Luke might have even mentioned in the WhatsApp group, we've played all these B teams. We've played San Fernando and Atletico Baleares, who are, fun teams to play because they're teams we're not used to playing, but it's nice to play a fabled club and go there. I'm gutted I can't go because I've been wanting to go to Recreativos pretty much since I lived here, just because I knew he was the oldest. And I've been to Sheffield FC and Hallam, the oldest in Britain. So I figured I wanted to do the Spanish equivalent. I don't know if anyone else wants to throw in anything else they know about the Recreativo Huelva. I think we've
Well, not about Recreativo Huelva, but your start of your whole Huelva story wasn't, even though it was from a book, wasn't very nice. Besides Huelva being a city, it's also a province, which has a lot to offer, which is beautiful. For example, Almonte, the home of the Virgen del Rocío.
Okay.
One of the most beautiful and oldest and nicest virgins, saints, statues in Spain.
I'm glad you added
We
statues.
call them
Thank God for statue in there, because I thought we were going off somewhere then.
No. With this, I'm all respectful.
Okay.
It's the rest I don't care about. But yeah, it's also a beautiful province. So before you decide never go to Huelva at all, Huelva is also very nice. That's all I wanted to say.
I'm glad you've put that in there, Chris, because but I will say, like, that sort of description I read from the book, that sort of makes me want to go there a bit more. I like if someone tells me, oh, there's an old football team and it's from a place like this, then I'm as interested in that as I am in going to San Sebastian to watch Real Sociedad.
Their first manager, he was a Hungarian guy, Ferenc Platko, who, just looking at his like managerial career, managed both River Plate, Boca Juniors, and Barcelona in the span of about 34 years.
But all the Hungarians have managed, especially in the pre-World War II, like they went everywhere. And actually, sorry, during World War II, because they wanted to escape Europe, because lots of them were Jewish, quite a lot of them went to South America to manage. So obviously this is before that, but yeah, if you read anything on any Hungarian manager, like obviously Peter Gutmann's the most famous one, they've been everywhere. they've always managed the big clubs. Obviously, like Peter Gutmann's book, what a football book that is as well. While we're talking about football books, his biography, what a story. But that's for a Benfica podcast and all the other clubs he managed. Should we talk about Malaga, or are you quite happy talking about? I was quite happy talking about this old club. But
do
I think
you have more Recreativo Huelva things to say?
I really like the stadium.
Yeah,
a nice stadium.
Yeah,
it does look nice.
I've got a massive affinity for, and I think the most elite stadiums, and I put this into the WhatsApp chat before, but stadiums on rivers are just chef's kiss. And it doesn't matter where they are, like I say, whether it's Huelva or whether it's Craven Cottage or the Riverside. You shared a picture of yourself that went to Dumbarton FC a few years ago as well. You know, there's just something magical about a football stadium on a river.
Yeah.
And Swansea's is technically on a river. It's just not an impressively sized.
No, the problem is Swansea's like it's a bit too high up above the river level, so it's like quite a big drop. Bridge goes off, so you don't really
doesn't
see
sit. Because like Blackburn Rovers as well claim to have a river side, and it's like a ditch.
And actually, whether the
12 is on.
Oh, nice! You're now taking the piss with Blackburn Rovers fan. Really great.
It's
really good. To be fair, they are a rival of Blackpool. To be fair, so I'm quite happy to do that. But my wife is from Blackburn, so she'll say that it is a ditch behind the riverside.
So if you're listening and you're also a Blackpool fan, I'm very sorry.
Okay. I was trying to shout out the Millennium Stadium, now called the Principality Stadium. That's got a nice view of the.
That's a good one. Yeah,
Good. Should we just do this for the next picture? Say names.
So they're shite, but have a beautiful stadium.
Yes, pretty much. Which get it on a flag.
It's also a local stadium, isn't
it? Whereas at the moment, Malaga can say we're good, but have a shite river. We could. I generally would love to do this for hours, just say places by the river, but we'll just quickly talk about Malaga to wrap things up. For me personally, I am quite happy to see this starting 11 again. I think Sangali should keep his place. I think he was very good in this game. Equally, if Danny Lorenzo's brought in, I have faith in him. I think we've touched upon him already. Haitam's back in training, full training. Hopefully he gets on the bench for this game. I don't know if it's still a little too soon. You guys, is there any changes you'd like to see, or even like maybe not even tactical changes, even like players you think could do with a rest, rotated? Or
I just want Haitam. I don't care where he will play. Just put him anywhere. I want Haitam.
He'd be a good replacement for Dione, who we've sort of all been a bit down on in this one.
I'd drop Dione, I think, and not put in Loren. But I would kind of like to see Roberto playing up front with someone else, whether that's in a front three. I know he'll be on his own in a front three, but if there's another young lad we can put in there, just not Loren and not Dione.
Okay. I realize there's one thing I need to go back for Recreativo, but I'll come back to that in a second. Chris, any other changes for you, or are you happy?
I'm happy. The only thing that worries me, now I have credited Kevin for his amazing work.
Mm-hmm.
Who called him the Shakespeare, the Beethoven of football the past weekend. What worries me is that next weekend we're going to have a shite, but local Kevin.
Well, we'll see.
He is local, but he could be shite this weekend.
Yeah.
I would.
No.
Because after such a great performance, most of the times with Kevin,
He's
the week after it's shite again.
well, to quote my piece or part in the fanzine, which again is available. Go to our Twitter, etc.
Yes, it's free.
Yeah, it's free as well. He is the personification of fun, and fun is not consistent. So I think that's how I see it. Just quickly to fin. Oh, go on, Nick. Do you have something to say? Sorry, I didn't come to you.
Well, I was going to say for my suggestions is the only for definite, him come out, and Gennaro. I think he needs to be rotated out a little bit. He's played every game so far, and I'd love to see Sangali at the pinch. I think give Larrubia and Lorenzo the freedom to do what they need, and I'm that confident our centre-back pairing that we don't necessarily need the defensive cover that Gennaro offers, and then just give Sangali that opportunity to be a bit of a terrier and do a lot of running.
I then obviously there'd be no Gennaro, no Juande. I think Sangali would be in for a shout to be the captain, or maybe one of the two centre backs. I'm trying to think who would be captain. Yeah, I think it'd be one of those three, maybe Herrero, but I think it'd be one of those three. I think Monte strikes me more of a captain than Einar, but I can't remember. We had such a long list of captains at the start of the season. I can't remember which order they came in. So we'll see. Just quickly, we can't not mention this man. We've got to the end. We've not mentioned Kaya Quintana, Chris. We're playing against him. You used to like Kaya Quintana, didn't you?
I love him.
Chris's favourite player, no?
Yeah. The thing is, it is that I can't take my computer to my sleeping room because it's full of Kaya Quintana posters. They're everywhere. Literally, my wife hates them. She says, remove them. I said, no. Kaya Quintana's life.
He's the light in my life. Call my bedroom from now on my sleeping room. I quite like that. That's changed it for me. That is now go to your sleeping room, Ruby.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys keep making fun of my English.
I'm not making fun of your English.
I was making fun of you.
I'm telling you now, next week, this podcast will be in Dutch.
I can just about say the longest word in the Dutch language, but that's about it. So it'd be not very useful.
Next week,
I think it'd be fun if we did it in Spanish.
I think it'd be quite good. I don't know. It's a shame I can't speak Welsh. If we all just spoke a different language on. So Alex did French, he did that. Nick did English, and I did Welsh. Or I'll do Spanish. I'll do my broken, crappy Spanish, and then just see what the content comes out like. I just ask a question in broken Spanish, which I guess you two would understand, and Nick just replies, I don't know, Nelson Monte or something.
Not everything. I just know. No, the only.
Kaya Quintana, I always said I felt a bit sorry for him. I always said he would have been good in front of a full La Rosaleda because he was there in the empty stadium season. But we wish him well. Apart from this game, I would say I had no issue with Kaya Quintana.
I think the guy went through whole Europe and everything. How many goals did he score in his career?
I remember him scoring a really good header, like lobbed the keeper for us. I might have made that up, maybe I dreamt that, but I'm sure I can picture a lobbed header.
I think I was thinking of Robin van Persie.
I always get that mixed up. Did Kaya Quintana play for Holland against Spain?
That's how I call him. That's when I call him Kaya van Persie.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know if any of you have anything to add about this game, but I think our river has run dry. A river next to a football stadium as well.
I suppose we can promote. There'll be another live stream for this game, and we'll obviously maybe potentially have a few more heads than usual. So, Chris and Matt, if you're obviously not going to Huelva, if you're joining us, I'm sure me and Luke will be there. Alex, I don't know if you're working or not. I know you said your shift patterns are different, but
I should be there. Should be there.
And if you are working, don't make a front flip on your way home.
I've just about recovered now.
I will say though that my friend Mark that drinks in the Marbella Peña bar, he said to me the other day, he said, Diego's asking about you. And he's like, why? He said, we need Matt here. We need to grow the Peña now. I was like, well. So I don't know why these people keep putting faith in me to revive.
Do they know you are a member of the Peña Benamiel?
Well, I don't know if they do. I was too scared to tell them because Diego's quite a scary man. He's a nice man, but quite scary and very slappy table-ish. I hope he doesn't listen to this. I love you, really, Diego. Oh, he's really nice. He's a really nice guy. But for some reason, I'm wanted in the. He wanted me for the Castellon game. He said, "You need to be here now." I was like, well, "I'm in Castellon." It was quite.
We just love Diego. We love Dora. We love exploring.
We do, yes. Things to plug. Read the fanzine we did. There's a Vamos a la Rosaleda episode. I'll be honest with you, I've not listened back. I did realize I drank a hell of a lot Sunday, so I don't know what sort of it came out like, but there was a bit where we talked about bands that got better over time, and somehow Snow Patrol came out of my mouth when what I meant.
I think your Vamos a la Rosaleda or Vamos are getting worse with the week.
Yeah.
No, not worse in the sense of like the quality is lacking, but are getting worse with your drinking.
Oh, right. Okay. So is this an intervention all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Actually,
no, it was more of a compliment. So keep it going.
Oh, no, I would say the Linares one is definitely the most sober Vamos episode there's ever been. So maybe I was making up for it.
I got as far as listening to the part where your friend had come back from the Pablo Picasso Museum and then was exclaiming that he was in a tight-fitting shirt. Yeah. So if that's not a peak of where Vamos is, then
well, that's what happened. He was saying Picasso's work is like it got better over time. So I was trying to think of a band, and I really like early Snow Patrol when they're quite cool and indie because I think I'm cool and indie. And what I meant to say was, they got more successful as they got older, but it came out as me saying Snow Patrol got better as they got older, and I think it made me sound not very cool. And I basically just spent the rest of the episode trying to sound cooler, but to be cool, I decided I need to get drunker. I think that's what happened there. Yeah.
So another lesson from Mr. Matt: the cooler, the drunker you get.
Yeah. Just to be clear, that was meant in in jest, but I don't know, maybe subconsciously it was. And the lady, the touchy lady, made another appearance, and we met her again.
And your friend did not like that. that was probably the most darkest, most serious point of Vamos I've ever heard, when he was going, well, if that was the other way around.
Yeah, she did say, I remember you. You have nice eyes. Where did you get those eyes from? Which is, that made up for my Snow Patrol slip up. Anyway, there's enough. I was just saying, go and listen to it. It's probably, but never mind. There you go. Do we need to plug anything? Do we need to talk about votes?
Keep voting through Instagram. I don't know, through the website,
Twitter. No, we can't vote through Twitter.
No.
Perhaps I should say, for those new, we're up for the International Club Content Creator Award at the Football Content Awards. You can vote through Twitter, Instagram. If you go on any of our accounts, you'll find links to it, bits and bobs. So if you've enjoyed listening to four men talk about stadiums by rivers, I say talking about
it, Joe, you can always help us. Be kind and just help us.
We're nice. You know, we're better than nicer than our competition. Not that I listen to it.
I have something, a rumor which I can announce and cannot announce. Nobody said that I can't announce it, so I think I can announce it.
Okay,
it's not such a big deal. It's just something that didn't came out yet. Because we've heard that Malaga Femenino will play their Copa de la Reina match Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Probably.
Is that the rumor, or?
Sorry?
Is that the rumor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Exclusive. It's the exclusive. Next Wednesday?
Yeah, next Wednesday, 8th of October.
But that's weird, because then we play there. The men's, senior men's.
No, but we're not playing at La Rosaleda. The women are not playing La Rosaleda.
Okay.
We think they will play at Alarin. That's what we think, but we didn't. We still.
Well,
that's the only Malaga Femenino news we have also this week. So.
Okay. Well, keep an eye on our socials to find out if that is happening. Right. Let's wrap things up. Okay. So thank you, Alex Ashmore.
Thank you. Vamos Malaga, and let's hope for another 3 points this weekend.
Exactly. Nick Bell, thank you.
Thank you very much, Matt. Vamos Malaga. Keep it local, not shit.
Thank you for that. And thank you, Chris Marquez.
Vamos Malaga. Shit,
Done.
But local.
Okay. And I will say thank you to you guys, the listeners, for listening. I've been Matt Harrison. You've been listening to the Geary Cast on Sport Direct Radio. We'll see you soon. Adios. Vamos Malaga.